Well, good morning, everyone. So we're on trail a little bit later than what we had planned because I spent the morning driving around trying to find parking for a different trail that we were going to try. However, no parking was available. So today we pivoted and we are at the Carl Sandburg House National Historic Site. It is the home of Pulitzer Prize winning author and poet Carl Sandburg. And there's about 5 miles of trails on the estate. The hiker specific parking lot, which by the way has a porta-john and trash bins at it, so you know that's a win, is about half a mile up the road from the main area parking lot. And you start out any hike from that lot on this nice little gravel road here. So today we're going to try to do basically like as much of the 5 miles of trails as there are to do at the National Historic Site. First one we're going to do is Glassy Mountain. They conveniently provide maps at the same parking lot. So it's going to be a beautiful day. It's already almost 80 degrees out. Thankfully the humidity is starting to drop. I was not planning to do like actual trails today. I was going to try rails to trails. So I am currently wearing my running shoes and have my diaper bag as a backpack and no hiking poles. Obviously, still have my hiking buddy. So that's really all we need. It's gonna be great. Brought plenty of water, so we're good to go. Ooh, we hit the summit of Glassy Mountain. Wow. All right, so I'm headed down from the Glassy Mountain summit. Super pretty view. Gets a little busy up there, so I would go early if you guys are gonna do it. It's about 1.6 miles from the hiker's parking area. I think somebody else said it was about 3 miles if you take the other trails to get there from the main parking area. Pretty steep uphill, so obviously a little steeper downhill with some bigger gravel and dirt, but definitely not a bad hike. Had a really nice time. Also hilarious because they keep passing people and they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're doing this with a baby. And then I passed a guy with a weighted vest and realized we're basically hiking the same hike. My weight just moves around. Anywho, people are super friendly on this trail, so having a great time so far. All right, we finished the Glassy Mountain Trail, so we just turned onto the Meminger Trail loop, so we'll do the whole loop, and then do the Little Glassy Mountain Trail and probably the lake loop as well, and that should get us actually through all of the trails in the area. So this is fun. I'm having a good time. These trails are really well maintained, really beautiful. They've done a great job here. So prior to today, knew absolutely nothing about Carl Sandburg or this estate, and it is, mind you, an estate. So I was expecting just, you know, a big historic house, but it's actually a big historic house with a farm attached to it and a number of outbuildings. And I learned a little bit of the history from reading the signs. I didn't take the tour or anything like that, but it was built by enslaved individuals pre-Civil War, changed hands multiple times until Carl Sandburg purchased it in, I think it was 1945. And he lived here and did his writings, used a lot of these trails to walk around and gain inspiration for his poetry and other writings. And his wife Lillian was a champion and renowned goat herder and breeder, which is actually very interesting. So it's been really cool to kind of see some of the history of the estate and learn a little bit about Carl Sandburg, who, by the way, found out was honored with his Pulitzer Prize for his biography of Abraham Lincoln. So interesting stuff. All right, finished the Meminger loop, and I am now on the Little Glassy Mountain trail. This is fun. All right, I'm headed towards the Front Lake Trail now. Part of the trail is closed because the bridge is out, so I'm just gonna do one half of the Front Lake Trail and then head back towards the barn. This is really pretty. I see why the bridge at Front Lake is closed. I'm guessing Helene did that. Alright, so I'm just leaving the farm now. Took a little tour of the farm on the way out to see the goats. They still have descendants of Lillian Sandburg's goats here, which is pretty cool because that was really her life's work. And interestingly enough, there's actually certain times of day where you can help brush out the goats. All in all, I did everything but I think maybe half a mile total of the trails here, and it's because one of them was a little 0.1 fork trail that I didn't end up taking, and the other because it was actually closed, so it was the far side of the Front Lake Trail. But all in all, by the time I get back to the car, having backtracked from the hiker parking lot and having to go out the same trail, it's actually about 5.5 miles, a little bit over that. So it was really nice. It's a really pretty day. A little hot, but hey, it's summer. I wasn't out hiking last week because we were stuck in that heat wave where it was 90 degrees every day. We started out our morning at 75. Think about that. It was not a fun week, but it was great to get out today. Had a wonderful time. Actually, if you're in this area, this is a very interesting National Historic Site to check out. Having known nothing about the author for which it was preserved, I had a really nice time exploring the site, learning about the history here, and also doing all of the trails. So I definitely recommend, if you're in the area, feel free to check this out, especially if you have younger kids. The trails are really easy and it's a good time. So that being said, be safe out there. Happy trails, everybody.